Hey everyone, Cody here with RSG Outdoors. Today I'm going to talk to you about some of the things you need to be mindful of before you head into next year's fishing season. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to check on are your fishing reels and your fishing rods, things like that. Make sure you take your reels apart and clean them out, lubricate them properly. No matter how hard you try to keep things clean and neat, if you're really fishing with them and you're putting them through a lot of stress, through a lot of work, especially if you're fishing tournaments and you're throwing things around on your boat, moving around quickly, scales, slime, sand, dirt, dust, all that stuff ends up inside of your fishing reels, and that's going to start wearing on your gears, your drag washers and plates, and things like that. So make sure you take these things apart at least once a year, clean them up, clean them out, lubricate them really well, and if you can't do it yourself, take them to a certified dealer that can, or to just a tackle shop that does reel maintenance and things like that. Make sure you check on your fishing rods, check your eyes. If you have anything that has ceramic guides, make sure those guides are not wearing down. Make sure they're not getting wear lines where it might cut through your line. If you use braid, that tends to happen more often than if you use mono. Just make a good check on them. If they're stainless steel, make sure that your seats are still glued properly. A lot of rod manufacturers or a lot of tackle service stations can re-glue those eyes for you if anything's starting to come undone. So just give everything a good once over as far as your fishing rods and reels are concerned, and that'll keep them going for a lot longer and save you a lot on your investment time. Another big thing is safety, so make sure you go through your medical kits. If you don't keep one on your boat, you definitely should, and I'd highly advise you go buy one. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, just something for band-aids, sting ointments, things like that, stuff to disinfect little injuries and stuff that you might get while you're out on the water. Stuff inside these does expire. Mine is actually a little bit wet right now, so I'm going to have to go through here and get rid of any packaging that might not have been sterile sealed, stuff like that. Make sure you check on your medical kits. Make sure everything in there is good to go so that in the event that you need it, everything's ready for you. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about is going to be your boat and your motor. Everybody knows the old adage of if you buy the boat, or if you buy the motor, you're going to get the boat for free. Well, that just tells you need to spend a lot of time and effort making sure your motor stays in tip-top shape. One of the best ways you can do that, if you're going to store it for the winter, make sure you have it winterized, or at least do it yourself to some degree. Putting a little bit of fuel stabilizer is never going to hurt your tank. It's actually a good idea, especially with today's ethanol gasolines. That stuff can separate out and cause varnishes and stuff to build up that can corrode and deteriorate your fuel lines, some of your plastic or rubberized connections. Anywhere there's an O-ring or anything like that can be seriously damaged by those varnishes that are created as that fuel separates. So make sure, if you're going to let your boat sit for any extended period of time, you're adding that enzyme to the fuel just to make sure that doesn't happen. So another thing to do to ensure you're taking proper care of your boat motor, when you come off of the water during these winter months when it's really cold, make sure you let the motor properly drain before you take off down the road from the river or from the lake, wherever you happen to be coming away from. In order to do that, make sure you trim your boat motor all the way down. That way this lower unit can drain all of the water out of it. If there's water left in there and it freezes overnight, you can cause some serious damage, or if it gets left up in the head. You need to make sure all that water gets drained out as best you can so that when it freezes and expands, it's not inside of there and not going to cause any cracking or damage. Alright folks, last but not least, you're going to want to make sure that all the little items that you always have on your boat or for your fishing trips, make sure you're topped up. This is a great time of year to go out and buy terminal tackle in bulk. A lot of your tackle manufacturers and tackle shops are going to have sales this time of year. It's a great opportunity to restock on everything you're going to need for the coming year. Also, make sure you check your dock lines, anchor ropes, anchor chains, your knives, your pliers, anything like that that can sustain damage. See what needs to be replaced, see what might need to be repaired, and get all those things taken care of. Hope you have the great rest of your year. Enjoy your holiday season, and we'll catch you in 2021 on RSG Outdoors.